Good morning, guys. Welcome to another episode of Yoga with Matthew live in the desert. I'm here at Mexican Hat, Utah, and Mexican Hat centers around Mexican Hat Rock, which you can see is right up behind me there. This area is pretty cool and unique to. It just feels different than a lot of other areas in the canyon country I've been to. Some of the features are more isolated, and when you're driving down 191 approaching this area, you just see this rock formation from really far away. And even though, the surroundings may not be as impressive as Castle Valley or Canyonlands, there's been definitely a special energy about this place. Yesterday I got here in the afternoon and it was blazing hot, and I decided that I wanted to climb up to the top of underneath there, and it was a really interesting adventure to say the least. And once I arrived underneath the rock there, I was able to see a spectacular view of the countryside here, and the San Juan River down there, and the beautiful riverbed flowing through the canyons here. So yeah, it's been a really nice experience. So I've been studying a lot out of Iyengar's Light on Yoga, and he talks about, early in the morning being one of the best times to practice postures, to practice asanas, because, when we wake up, we're still kind of stiff, and the postures don't come easily to the body. But it's a great way to get our bodies in motion, to get blood flow, to get oxygenated, to get just a refresher for the day ahead. And also in the morning, the mind is a little fresher. It's not as weighed down with the stuff from the day when we practice at the end of the day. In the evening, it can be nice to practice to sort of clear out the mind, but in the morning, there's a freshness to the mind that we can bring to our practice. Yeah, so this morning will be a nice, invigorating practice to get your body going for the day and get your mind tuned up for the day as well. So we'll go ahead and get started, and we'll, as usual, begin with a few minutes of breath meditation. So go ahead and find a comfortable seat. Sit up tall and close the eyes. And we'll take a few breaths to enliven and refresh the body. Breathing in through the nose. Drawing the breath deep. Cultivating our ujjayi breath. So if you're not familiar with ujjayi breath, we draw the breath in through the nostrils and allow for a slight compression of the airway, making sort of a wind or ocean sound. And this elongates the breath and pulls it down all the way into the abdomen and helps us to activate our diaphragm muscle. So on each inhale, you can reach up a little bit taller through the crown. You can let the shoulders drop a little bit more. And we'll feel the revitalizing, refreshing quality of each breath as it comes in. So next breath in, you can hold at the top. And exhale to open the eyes. We'll go ahead and sweep the legs behind us here and come to tabletop. And we'll begin just with some cat-cows to bring some movement into the body, bring some movement into the spine. So as you get the spine warmed up here, you can accentuate the movement in the shoulder blades. So in your cat pose, spreading the shoulder blades wide, rounding into the spine. And in your cow pose, squeezing the shoulder blades together. So we're getting the back warmed up here, getting some blood flow up there. Let's hold a cat pose. Spread the shoulder blades around the spine, tuck the chin. And reverse it to cow. Shoulder blades squeeze. Neck reaching. And release. We'll walk the legs back here. Find downward facing. We'll pedal the heels a little bit, just to warm the legs. We'll feel the tissues of the body responding to movement here. So if you're doing this practice in the morning, you can be attentive to just how the tissues start to open up when we move and breathe here. Up onto the tips of the toes. Exhale, press the heels down. And we'll begin walking the feet forward towards the hands. Come to a forward bend for a moment. Nice big breath into the legs and hamstrings. Relax the neck and head and shoulders. And we'll inhale to come up, rounding the spine, bringing the head up last. We'll heel toe the feet together. Spread the toes wide, grip the floor, rock back and forth on the heels, and we'll find even pressure between the ball of the foot, near the pinky toe, and the crescent of the heel. We'll fully open the backs of the knees and a slight internal rotation of the thighs. Tailbone slight tuck underneath you. Abdomen engages, shoulders back and down. So we'll keep our steady gaze forward. And keeping all these engagements in the lower body bring the arms up overhead. So if the ribs want to flare up, keep them pulled down with the abdomen, arms reaching overhead, steady gaze forward, 5 breaths here. That's 2. Last breath. And exhale the hands down to prayer. Can release the engagements in the lower body, relaxing a bit. So from here, we'll wake our minds up a little bit more and the lower body with some balance poses. So we'll bring our weight into the left leg, feeling the toes grip the ground, leg nice and straight. We'll avoid the hip from jutting out like that, so we'll keep the hip nice and activated and strong, left glute squeezing. And then we'll bring the right foot up to the inside of the thigh, getting pressure there. We'll bring the hands to prayer pose, steady gaze forward. And we'll take the variation of tree this morning with fingers interlaced, arms overhead. Keep gripping the ground with the toes, squeezing the left glute, driving the right knee back. And release. Hands back to prayer. Releasing the right foot. Get some of the desert dust off my pants. We'll go ahead and do the right side. So weight comes into the right foot. Feel the toes grip the ground here, really important for balance. Shift the weight. Bring the left foot up. We want to avoid pressing on the knee, so bringing that foot up as high as you can near the base of the right leg. Hands to prayer. Driving left knee back. Right leg fully straight. Steady gaze. And hands overhead. One more breath. And exhale to fold the hands, releasing the left foot. We'll pause in mountain pose here. All right, and then we'll come sideways on our mat. And we'll be setting up for triangle pose here. So we'll bring the feet nice and wide. And we'll start with a star pose here. So reaching out through all 5 points of the star, through the feet, through the hands, shoulders drop, arms reach, crown extends. Take a couple deep Ujjayi breaths here. So it looks like we got an approaching car. So we'll set up for a triangle pose on our left side. So I'm going to turn my left foot 90 degrees, right heel back slightly. Careful not to let this right hip come forward. You want to keep it back. I'm going to reach forward with the left hand. And then my left hand is going to find either the shin or the ankle while the right arm reaches up. Can bring the gaze skyward. I'm going to keep working to keep the left knee straight here and right hip back. And we'll come back up. We'll come back to star pose here for a moment. And go ahead and do the other side. So right foot turns, left heel turns back slightly. We'll keep the hips square with the shoulders. Reach forward with the right hand. And bring it down to the shin or ankle. Left arm extends skyward. Right knee is straight. Left hip is reaching back. Left hand is reaching up. And take some breath here. The next exhale can bring you back up. We'll check in at our star pose again. And from here, we'll turn the left foot again, and we'll dip down to Warrior Two, setting up for side angle. I'm going to bring my left elbow down to the knee. My right arm is going to reach. And I'm aiming to extend from my right foot all the way through the right hand. Again here, the right hip is driving back. The left knee is driving back, giving a good opening to the inside of the groins muscles. Up, right hand finds the back leg, left arm reaches. And now we will take an extended side angle, left hand coming to the outside of the foot, right arm reaching up. Breath is moving. Back to our star pose. We'll rotate the feet. Reach out through the arms. Let the breath normalize before we do the other side. So we'll turn the right foot. We'll find our Warrior Two, aiming for our thigh to be parallel to the floor. Elbow to knee, left arm extend, reach from the foot all the way up through the hand. Back to Warrior Two. Left hand finds back leg, right arm overhead, open up through the right side here. to extended side angle. Right arm coming all the way to the outside of the right foot. Left arm reaches skyward, extending through the left leg. Bring the gaze up to the left hand and breathe. And we'll lift up. We'll let the arms come down here. Resting for a moment. Feeling the breath and body. And then we'll rotate the left foot again. And we're going to be setting up for Warrior One here. So we'll have the back foot here at a 45-degree angle. And then we're going to bend in the left knee, aiming for the thigh to be parallel to the floor. Now, we're going to watch this back leg here and make sure that the knee doesn't drop. We're going to keep that leg fully extended. I'm going to rotate my hips forward, and if the pelvis is tilting forward at all, tilt it back. So we're encouraging all of this to happen while we're trying to maintain this angle in the front leg. So abdomen firms, steady gaze forward, and we'll bring the arms up overhead. 5 breaths here. 2. 4, and last breath. And we'll exhale to open to Warrior Two. You can widen in the stance a little bit. Deepen in the hip angle. Reach through the arms, shoulders going down. And we'll release from the pose. We'll come back to star, take a few breaths. And release the arms. All right, we'll set up for the other side. So, right foot turns. And we'll set up in the back foot. So we get that 45-degree angle. Leg is fully straight, back of the knee is open. We'll find the angle in our right leg. Bringing the hips forward, square with the shoulders, tilt the pelvis back, arms relax to the sides. Abdomen engage, arms overhead. 5 breaths here. To Warrior Two. Widening our stance a little bit. Right thighs parallel to the floor. Reach in the arms, shoulders relax. Steady gaze out over the right hand. legs straighten. We'll come back to our star pose. We'll widen the legs a little bit here, and we'll set up for a nice wide-legged forward bend. So we'll hinge at the hips. You can keep adjusting as needed. Let your hands support you on the floor. And relax into the pose. Let your breath take over. We'll give a little extra attention here to keep the toes pointing forward, to keep the knees open, backs of the knees fully open. All right, so from here we'll turn to the front of our mat to a runner's lunge, just to pass through for a moment here. So we'll have the hands framing the left foot, or whichever foot is facing forward. And we're going to transition into pyramid pose. So you can let the back foot start coming towards the right. And then the level of challenge will be determined by how in line the feet are. So if my foot is further out towards the edge of the mat, it's going to be a little easier to balance. And if the feet are directly in line, it's going to be more difficult to balance. So sort of choose your challenge level there. And then you want to find the appropriate distance that allows you to keep your front leg fully straight. So if there's any buckling, maybe walk it a little bit further back. And then we'll bring the hands up onto the shin, sliding up onto the thigh. And here I'm aiming for a straight back, shoulders squeezing back a little bit, chest nice and open, crown reaching up. Both knees fully straight and bending forward as much as I can. 5 breaths here. And last breath. To release. We'll bend in the knee, we'll let the hands come back to the floor. We'll step the whichever forward foot is back, and we'll go to a plank pose. Holding for 5 breaths. And the 5th. We'll go ahead and step the right foot forward, or whichever foot was the back foot for you last time. And we'll set up for pyramid on the other side here. So we'll walk that foot forward, finding the right balance level for you. Fully straightening in both knees. Finding your balance. Hands start to slide up the leg. Resting on the thigh. Then we'll extend through the crown, shoulders back and down. We'll bend forward as much as we can. 5 breaths. And we'll bend in the knee to release. We'll step both feet back here. 5 more breaths in plank. Three. Press back through the heels, reach forward through the crown. And 1 more breath. We'll bring the hips back here to our downward facing. Press the heels back. We'll get a little back bend in here and upward facing. Drop the knees, chin and chest sweep along the mat. Press up. Engage the shoulders here. Raise up through the crown. And we'll press back for 1 more downward facing. Allow for some refreshing, invigorating breath here. And you can let the knees come down to the outer edges of the mat. We'll sit back into child's pose here and rest and integrate our practice a little bit. So let the feet relax while you're here. Let the hip creases deepen a little more. Feel the shoulders soften. Feel the hands relax. And we'll take our time, coming up out of the pose, sitting back onto the heels. Eyes closed, we'll spend a few meditative moments here. Getting centered in our breath, feeling centered and enlivened in the body. Ready to move into the day ahead of you. So we'll allow for a little bit more stillness. Establishing connection with our calm center, and that our action and speech and thoughts can all flow from that place. So with a sense of feeling refreshed, we can get ready to move into our day here and finish our practice with an Om. So exhaling the breath you have, taking in a new breath. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. And we bow in respect to each other and our higher nature and say Namaste. Well, I hope you're feeling good and ready for the day ahead of you. I'm going to be checking out Goosenecks National Park today. I've had a really nice stay here at Mexican Hat and a really fun adventure too, getting down to the river yesterday, which was super fun because after a long climb up to the top of there on a 90-degree day, I was ready for some water. So if you'd like to keep up with more of my mindfulness and meditation and music offerings, subscribe to the Seer Music channel, where I'll be posting new stuff pretty regularly here. So thank you for participating and showing up for your practice. So thank you and namaste. Guys, so I just wanted to do a little follow-up here to show you the absolutely spectacular view from the campsite here. So I'm going to flip this around. We got the San Juan River Valley with the trees and all the nice vegetation overlooking it here. You can see the dirt roads down there and the dispersed camping all down the canyon side, leading up to the Mexican Hat Rock there. And there's my campsite. So yeah, really beautiful area, love it here. So much open land to explore. So I'd encourage you to get out here sometime and experience the magic of the desert.